Yeah, it's like 38 degrees in here right now. It's cold. I want myself a cup of coffee. It's really cold tonight in the shop. It's like 38 degrees. I need a cup of coffee, so I just purchased this new Cuisinart single cup grind and brew coffee maker. The reason why I got this is because Mrs. Homesteader, she makes a full pot for her at night. She gets it all set up so that when she gets up way early in the morning when I'm zonked out asleep in bed, she just comes upstairs and it's already made a full pot of coffee. When I get home from my regular job at night, sometimes I just want a cup, maybe 2 cups. I don't need a full pot. So this is going to be the perfect thing for around the shop. So let's unpackage this thing. Roll the intro. All right, I'm gonna dive into this thing. We're gonna hit you on the time-lapse video. No reason for you to be bored with an unboxing, right? So when you pull this thing open, there's a couple of things in there. There's a spoon with a little brush. There's a couple of these cone Cuisinart filters. And then there's this filter here. This is the water filter. What they're saying to do here, it's a charcoal water filter that eliminates chlorine, bad taste, and odors from tap water. So what it wants me to do is remove the filter from the poly bag and soak it fully immersed in cold tap water for 15 minutes. I don't have cold tap water out here in the shop, but I do have some cold bottled water. Probably about 38 degrees, so we're gonna pour that sucker right there. We're gonna take our little charcoal water filter and we're gonna drop it right in here, and we're gonna put 15 minutes on the clock. Okay. So while our charcoal filter is in here soaking for a little bit, we're going to go inside, because inside here is our gold tone coffee filter. We got to rinse this out really good for 5-10 seconds with some cold water. So we're going to run inside and do that, okay? Let's go do that now. So if you guys want to know how to have a really messy shop, send me a comment below and I'll contact you. It's really easy to have a real cluttered, messy shop. All you have to do is just buy a shop and just everything will just like start pouring in, like stuff you didn't even know you didn't need, and you just stack the crap everywhere. It's pretty awesome. We need to be very quiet. Miss Homesteader's downstairs sleeping. We don't want to wake her. Not a good thing to do it in the middle of the night. No. So I need you to be really quiet, okay? Thanks. Okay, so we're back from cleaning out our gold filter, and now we're going to put the charcoal filter back inside here. So let's do that now. Okay, so we're just going to pull this little unit right out of here. This is where your filter goes. And this just snaps open. Then you take your charcoal filter out, you place it in here like so, snap it shut, and right down here it goes, back in there. Coffee is 98% water. The quality of that water is so important for your coffee. If the water doesn't taste good from the tap, it won't taste good in your coffee. Cuisinart includes a charcoal water filter to remove chlorine, bad taste, and odors for the purest coffee filter every time you brew. So it also wants me to run a just run a cup of water through it the first time, just to clear out any dust and stuff that may be in there from packaging, being in the factory, on a truck, off a truck, across the country, however it takes to get here to my shop. Okay, I have water specially flown in from the springs of Kirkland. At least that's what the bottle says on it. So we're gonna do a cup of water here. And what I kind of think is kind of cool about this is you're always going to have the perfect amount of water. You're never going to have any risk of having too much water, you know, and you didn't set it right. Now it's going to put too much coffee in and it's spilling everywhere, because you pour the water in your coffee cup and then you pour it in the reservoir. So I'm just going to show you those little indicators. There's one at 4, 8 and 12 ounces. 4, 8, 12 and 16 ounces. Put my filter back in here. We're going to put my coffee cup underneath here. This is where you pour your water, of course, and then you want to make sure that you have your filter in here, because if this filter is not in here, it's got this little button, and this like depresses when it comes down. It depresses the safety button and makes it to where it'll brew. So what we're going to do is this time we're going to hit the grind off button, and that turns a nice red color. And now we'll hit the grind and brew button, and now we're just going to go throw this water out, and now we're going to get down to some serious brewing. Okay, now we've got everything cleaned out. It's not a pain, it's just that's not what you want to do. You want to make coffee, right? So on to the quest for the perfect cup of coffee. It says that element number 2 is coffee. While coffee is 98% water, all of the flavor comes from the beans. To achieve the same great taste you enjoy at a coffee bar, buy only a 2-week supply of fresh coffee beans at a time. Once the bean is broken, its flavor degrades quickly. That's why Cuisinart grinds the beans just prior to brewing. Element 3, the grind. The grind is critical for proper flavor extraction. If the grind is too fine, over-extraction and bitterness will result. Too fine of grind may also clog the filter. If the grind is too coarse, the water will pass through too quickly and the maximum flavor will not be extracted. Your coffee maker is preset for medium, the optimal grind for this type of brewing process. And then it says element number 4 is proportion. Coffee that is too strong or too weak is always a disappointment. Follow the recommended portions in the instructions under making coffee and later adjust the amount for taste. So here on my recommended portions, it says that for an 8-ounce cup, it wants me to use 2 scoops of coffee onto the coffee beans. Everything we brew inside the house is Folgers. It's already ground coffee. We put a filter in, we put our coffee grounds in. It makes coffee. Drip percolator. I have never had a coffee maker that will do beans. So click the smell-o-vision button below. Maybe I'll put it up here, maybe I'll put it over. I don't remember where. Click that smell-o-vision, because I'm going to tell you what. Oh, that smells so... Here, you got to smell this. Smell this. Ah, doesn't that smell good? Oh, man. And I didn't buy a whole lot of beans here. Just a little bit. But I am super excited to start making some fresh ground coffee. So we're going to do that now. There's one, and there is two. And it'll do drip. You can take your 2 scoops there. You can take your little scooper, wherever in the tar I already put it, doesn't matter. And you can put 2 scoops of regular ground coffee inside here where your gold filter is. Or if you don't want to use the gold filter, you can take one of these cone filters and you can open it up and stick it on inside here, and you could put your ground coffee right in here. That's fine too, but we're just going to leave the gold filter in there. I'm going to put this lid back on here. We're going to put this in here because today, my friends, we are going to have ourselves a fresh ground cup of coffee. Pretty cool. Just going to pour that right there to my little 8-ounce line. Okay, now time to get the magic to happen. I apologize that that's so loud. I want you guys to enjoy this with me. Here we go. Oh man. I'll tell you what, I'm being real spoiled right now. This was a great addition to the shop. You can pick one of these up for about $50–$60, maybe a little cheaper. If I can find a link, I'll put it in the description bar below. That way you can get one of yours for your home, for your shop, whichever. That's one of the ways you can support this channel. It doesn't cost you anything extra, but when you purchase things through our links in the description, it helps me, you know, get more fun little things to help move the filming process along here on the homestead. It's 38 degrees right now in the shop, and I'll tell you what, this fresh cup of coffee is hitting the spot. So this can grind beans, or, you know, if you already have coffee grounds, you can just put the coffee grounds directly in the filter compartment. No big deal. You know, it's up to you. But I'll tell you what, I'm being spoiled right now with freshly ground coffee. I don't know if I've ever had freshly ground coffee, and it's going to be hard to do something else. I mean, no coffee creamer in here, no sugar. It's a much different flavor. It's if you haven't tried it, you should try a freshly ground coffee. Oh man, this is really good. So that brings me to a couple questions that I have today. What is your preferred method of coffee? Do you like just, your run-of-the-mill Folgers, your ground up Folgers, Maxwell House? What do you like? Do you like to prefer to do your own grind? How do you do your own coffees? Do you do a percolator? Do you do a French press, pour over, drip method? What ways do you prefer? When we go camping, a lot of percolated coffee, even sometimes cowboy coffee. Maybe I'll do a video on that. If you want me to do a video, let me know, and I'll do a video on some of these other methods that you can make coffee. If you're not currently subscribed, consider subscribing. Hit that like button below, share it with your friends on your social feeds. And just remember, friends, if you're not living, you're dying. Thanks for watching.